Morning, everybody. Wolfie here, back in his trusty handy-dandy car, off to pick up some groceries. The mythical storm that was supposed to kick us in the nuts last night and this morning, it kind of petered out. It either stayed out on the coast and didn't bother touching Orlando with its noodly appendages, or it just sort of vanished into thin air. I didn't check the forecast this morning, but there's blue sky. There's some wispy clouds up that way where the storm was supposed to be, but we got a little rain. That's it. We didn't even see any kind of wind. So yeah, it's good news, I guess. No damage to the house because nothing really attacked the house. So yeah, I know there are people that get excited about hurricanes and tropical storms. I'm not one of them. I don't panic. I don't go panic buy 20 gallons of gas to stick in the garage to go bad in 6 months. And I don't go nuts and stock up on toilet paper and water and that sort of crap. I do try to prepare, but I don't go off the deep end like a lot of people do. There was panic buying in Orlando back on Friday, especially. There were people just lined up 10 cars deep at Costco, for example, trying to gas up their cars and get some extra fuel for their generators and stuff. I guess in grocery stores, the water shelves got cleaned out pretty quick, too. But 'twas all for naught. But, hurricane season lasts 6 months, so those supplies don't go wasted, at least. The thing about buying gas and putting it in gas cans is you can just fill up your car instead of going to the gas station. Just work through that gas on your own. And the same with water. You can just slowly drink it down, drink down your stocks. So, no biggie. Toilet paper, well, if you stock up too much on that, then you just don't have to go to the store for a while to wipe your arse. Another trip to the magical, mystical world of Walmart. I have to say that their free grocery pickup is really a nice service. It's one of their genuinely good things they've done in the past year or so, I guess. They don't charge for it. You just pick out your groceries on the website. It's the same as in-store prices. When you go to checkout, you pick a time slot, a 1 hour window on whatever date. Usually they have, if you do it early enough in the day, you can get same day pickup. Otherwise, you usually get stuck picking the next day. So I just grab the earliest slot, usually 8 to 9. It used to be 7 to 8, but they're only doing that for at-risk people now, with all the Wu-flu stuff going on. So yeah, I usually just pick 8 to 9 the next day, and here I am. It is 7:52, and they've already picked the order, and it's ready to go. They email when it's ready. It's kind of cool. It's actually really cool. And then you've seen it. You just pull up to Walmart at the little park in one of the pickup spots, and they wheel it out to your car, load it in your trunk, and off you go. You don't even have to get out of your car. It's really awesome. It makes grocery shopping a lot easier. Cheaper, too, because you don't do impulse buys nearly as much. So we had some fun last night on the Satisfactory live stream. It was definitely satisfactory. I did get discouraged by just how complex the production chain is for nuclear power. And it's very daunting. It's seriously daunting. I went and found a couple videos on YouTube about how people have built their nuclear plants, and I saw some pretty interesting and innovative ideas. So I started laying the foundation for that last night and a little bit this morning. So I like what I saw, and it kind of inspired me. So I'm still going to give nuclear power a shot, and it's going to take some effort, but I think it'll be worth it. I'm going to try to use the alternate recipes as much as possible to build all the components, manufacture the fuel rods for the reactors, and that should increase productivity and decrease the raw resources needed. What the main idea that I saw, that I guess this is used in lots of different situations, and it's borrowed from Factoria. It's called the main bus design. And I saw people using that in Satisfactory for their nuclear setups, and it made sense. It made it a lot easier for me to kind of get an idea of how exactly to break everything out and get production working for the nuclear fuel. There's also a mod that lets you recycle somehow, actually get rid of nuclear waste. So I'm considering plugging that in too, because the just disposing of nuclear waste in the vanilla game just means you haul it off to a stack of industrial storage units. You stack them up, you daisy chain them, and you just store it forever. So it's technically a non-renewable energy source, because you eventually run out of space to store the waste. And it's weird, but I think that actually goes against the lore of Fix-It. Their whole spiel. In fact, even if you try to get rid of or destroy nuclear waste, it even tells you that Fix-It doesn't waste. That they waste nothing, so they recycle everything. Well, if they can build a space elevator, and they can build machines that forge steel out of coal and iron, and they can build all these fancy, heavy frameworks, or heavy frame modules, and heavy, smart plating, and all this really advanced stuff, why can't they reduce and reuse nuclear waste? So it almost makes sense, lore-wise, to plug in a mod that lets you somehow reuse or recycle nuclear waste. So I'm going to look into that too. Besides, I think it would be dreadfully boring to set up long-term nuclear waste storage, and I don't want to make people watch that, and I also don't want to do it. So I'm not going to, I don't think. I did set up a big chain of basically waste containers over by the doggos, because every once in a while they'll give you a barrel of radioactive waste when they fetch things for you, which is just silly, but also hilarious. Look, I found something for you. It's glowing in green. I think you'll love it. Happy dog doesn't know what he's doing, and of course he can handle the radiation. He doesn't have any. He's immune to radiation. So is everything on the planet except for you, which is just funny. But anyway, so I did build that, but I don't. It's the entry point to it is over by my base, and I just don't want. I don't want to have all that crap floating around or near my base. And that's what makes nuclear so challenging. Everything, the whole manufacturing chain from raw uranium ore to pellets to encased fuel pellets up to the nuclear fuel rod, every step of the way involves an ingredient that's highly radioactive. So being near the machines that process it, being near the belts that contain those items, especially the uranium ore, so all of that exposes you to radiation, and you either need to burn through those masks for the hazmat suit, or you just eat damage and have to heal yourself every once in a while. So it makes sense to have all of your uranium processing happen far away from everything else. Ooh, the day star is bright today. That tells you how strong that storm was. It's nice and bright out here. Oh wow, looks like she's ready for me. Ready to give me my groceries. Cool. Morning.
All right, you okay with substitutions?
Yeah, that was fine.
All right.
Sure. Thanks a lot. You too. See? How cool is that? It takes like 1 minute. They've got it down to an art. Well, down to a science, I suppose. So, fun fact, you of course can't see the road I'm driving on because you're stuck staring at me. But dead ahead, just across this little street here, is the shopping mall, or little strip mall, where the gun dealer is, where I bought my little Glock 34. It's a little pricey. I think I paid about $40 more than what I would have paid buying it online. But then it works out that you have to have a gun. If you buy any kind of firearm, it has to be shipped to a gun dealer so that they can do a background check before they release it to you, which is just such horse shit. Second Amendment is tattered and bleeding, but there's a fee for that transfer and that background check, and it's usually $30. So by the time I had, ordered a gun, waited the week for it to ship, and then waited, you have to wait 3 days from the day you apply for the background check. So it would have been like a week for the gun to arrive at the store. Then I go in, pay the fee, the $30 transfer fee, plus waited 3 more days to pick up the gun. It would have been like a week and a half of a wait, and I would have saved maybe $10. So, I don't know. I feel like it's better to support the local gun shops anyway. So I did. They were busy as hell, too. The day I went back to pick that gun up, God, it was like, oh, geez. I had to wait probably 30 minutes in line to get that damn thing. I did it right as they were getting ready to start closing things down for the quarantine for the Chinese flu. So the timing couldn't have been better. I think I actually picked up the gun the day before the county announced they were shutting everything down. So, lucked out there. Now, the funny part is, I didn't have any ammo for it until about a week later when the stuff I ordered finally showed up. I had ordered ammo before I purchased I ordered ammo around the same time I bought the gun. And I think it was more like 2 weeks I had to wait for it to show. And, that was a hell of a wait. So I had a shiny new gun that I couldn't use for the first 2 weeks. And, yeah, that was aggravating. And then, of course, I didn't actually get to go shoot it until about a month ago. Back when she still lived with me, my wife and I went to what turned out to be a very tourist trap-ish gun range. It was okay, but they had fucking Gomer Pyle in there yelling at people as their range safety officer. Such an obnoxious guy. He tried to convince Nicole that if she kept her thumb up on the back of the slide, that it'd break her thumb and she'd be bleeding all over. And we're both just looking at him like, dude, are you out of your fucking mind? She did fire several shots holding it like that. It is the wrong way to hold a gun, or that, because the slide moves back when you shoot. But it just pushed her thumb back. It didn't even scratch anything. It's uncomfortable, but it doesn't break anything. It doesn't really hurt you. It's just like, ow. And you stop doing it quick because it hurts. So yeah, he was annoying and we didn't stay that long. And it turns out she bitched at her boyfriend about how I got upset and wanted to leave. She was so pissed at that guy, she was ready to fight with him. But of course she didn't tell the boy toy that detail. Oh, no. I had to blame the husband. Fucking hate that. And that's the worst of it too. I'm going to give you on that subject, I'll give you some advice. Even if you've known somebody for years and you've been their friend for years, even decades, when their relationship with somebody falls apart and they start telling you all the horror stories, you have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, because you only tell your friends and your new lover the worst stories. You want to make your ex look as terrible as possible so that your new love interest feels superior and, wants to protect you and stick with you or whatever. And if you're just telling a friend, well, you don't want to look bad to your friend, so you never mention the shit you do. You just mention the bad things that your ex did. So incidentally, if you are dating somebody or seeing somebody who is just breaking up with an ex or getting divorced or whatever, be careful, because they're probably lying to you about just how bad their ex is and about all the nasty shit their ex did. Also, they're not telling you any of the bad or nasty shit that they did because they want you to like them. And yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, if you fuck a married woman, you're a piece of shit. Just wanted to say that and throw that out there. Or a married man. Married people are supposed to be hands off, but as it turns out, they are. There's actually a subculture of people who chase married people, because married people tend to be safer. They tend to be on birth control. They tend not to have diseases. So and they have strings attached elsewhere, so they're typically not interested in long-term emotional relationships. So they're good for casual sex. And it's a shame that too many married people take advantage of that and do it. Same with people who sleep with married people. They're taking advantage of it too. But, it eventually comes out and it can ruin relationships, ruin marriages, like it did ours. Cheating whore. I'm not bitter. Lives rent-free in my head for now. It's going to take a while for me to get over all this crap. Closing is coming up soon enough, so hopefully it'll all be out of my hair at the end of the month. I can actually start healing and getting around and moving on with life. I've already kind of moved on. Still a lot of bitterness and anger in there. I need to go to the go to a gun range more and start taking out some frustration with my shiny new Glock. I gotta save up some money. I want to buy a rifle, but I need to save all my money up because I'm on a contract gig right now, and it ends in December. And it's August now, so August, September, October, November, early December is when it ends. So I've basically got 4 months of monstrous income left. I need to save up as much of that as I can, and just to prepare for the possibility that my contracting company can't find anything else for me, and that's a risk with Chinese flu out there. A lot of shutdowns. A lot of companies had to trim the fat, cut down their workforce. On the other hand, that can be a good thing for contract workers, simply because if companies get rid of a lot of full-time employees, they still need the work done, and so they might decide to contract it out, and that'll work out. So here's hoping, right? I'd like to land something that pays similar to what I'm getting paid now, for obvious reasons. I'm very happy with my income. Nobody fucking waves in the morning anymore. Shitheads. But, it'll work out. It always does. But I can't go spending $1,000 on a rifle when I need to save up all my money just to make sure I can float along for a couple months if there's no income. So I'll be happy with my Glock for now. Got to learn how to quickly disassemble it and clean it. Find a better snake. The one I got is too big. It wouldn't go through the damn bowl, or it wouldn't go through the barrel. So I had to. Yeah, that sucked. But whatever. I'm home, guys. I'm going to wrap this up and say goodbye for the morning. And I got lots of video to render and upload, so that's going to be coming today and tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.